Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, back with his good friend, Mr. Stephen Dow. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's sun shining. It's not, well, I was going to say it's not too hot. It's going to be 99 degrees, I think, today. So we get a little bit of a reprieve, but it's been like 20 something days straight of like 100, above
Oh my
100
God, you're
degree
happy at
weather.
99. That's Texas for you. That's
Yes, it
great.
is. So, other
Yeah.
than that, though, although I work very happily for Velocimor's Capital, all the ideas and topics discussed on this channel are that of my own. So, let's get it going.
Yeah, something I want to talk about here is I want people to realize that yes, I do believe the real estate market, the housing market is entering a depression. If you're paid on transaction, it's going to be a rough couple of years potentially.
Mhm.
We just talked about in video number one, there might be up to 15 people paid on a single transaction. That's a lot of wet beaks that won't be wet. The industry is going to consolidate, shrink. The strong will likely get stronger, the creative. But I want to talk to the investors, right? The
Right.
people that follow one rental at a time, the people that are
Mhm.
doing the work. I want them to hear me. Yes, I put out scary headlines to get clicks, no question.
Mhm.
But hopefully my message is yes, it's scary, but do the work. What have we wanted as investors, Steve? We have wanted the market to slow down.
Yeah. Right.
What is happening today, Steve? Any idea?
I wouldn't say total stop, but man, this is just like Sunday drivers talking about just slow, like just wow.
Woo!
No, it for especially in certain segments of the industry on the conventional a paper side, refi market is just disappeared basically,
Yeah. And
vanished.
again,
So
I talked to an editor at Fortune magazine yesterday, which was
mhm.
awesome. One of the things that you will see in that video is I introduced the concept of the Fed broke housing. And
Right,
you could see him get a little apprehensive. And then we talked about it and a light bulb went off. I'm like, got him, got
yeah,
him. So again, the market's going to move slow for
right,
quarters.
right.
And this is our opportunity, right? So we as investors need to do the basics, which for me, rule one, rule two, get a buy box, daily discipline.
Mm-hmm.
Rule three, grow
Mm-hmm.
your network. But folks, this is not the time to give up. This is the time to double
No,
down. This is the time to do
skill
the
up.
work, run your numbers, skill up, new things, seller financing, 50, 40, 10s. The
Yes.
opportunities. I know it's hard for people that came out of the last 2 years to
Mm-hmm.
understand that the future is so bright. The more
Right,
creative, the more skills, the bigger your network, the more amazing deals you will do. I know it's hard for people, but trust me, it's right out there. All markets will feel it, some sooner
right,
than others, some more severe than others, but it is
right.
all out there. We will find motivated sellers. What do you think of all that? Because you've been in the market, you've been in mortgage for 20 years. You've seen ups and downs, and I think the market that's coming is going to be amazing for non-QM.
Oh, no, agreed. I'm already seeing the 50-40-10 really take off. And a lot more people are coming to me saying, hey, sellers willing to carry, even 100%. And I was like, well, this is probably a better situation for, the seller as well, present this because we don't want to have to give him the price in a sense
Yeah.
because the appraised value still has to come in and things of that nature. So we want some flexibility with that. But no, it's definitely, I'm seeing a definite uptick in those types of more creative
Mm-hmm.
transactions where seller is willing to carry than I've ever seen before. Because
Yeah.
again, that conversation wasn't really a
No.
probable, kind of conversation last year.
Yeah.
Just total different environment. But right now, sellers are seeing it, and if you present the right information that is, relevant to that specific seller, and you push the right motivation buttons, it's
Yeah.
happening. And or the sellers are just seeing what's going around and understand like, hey, I got to make a move.
Yeah. So a couple of things. First off, if you're asking yourself, what the hell is the 50, 40, 10? Do yourself a favor. Go to a playlist called Deep Dive. Stephen and I did a 90-minute session where we answered any and all questions for my students. Please watch that. It's an amazing idea he and I crafted together that basically allows you to come into a deal with only 10% and get a blended interest rate that is below market. It's freaking awesome. And second, motivated sellers. It's I'm 50, 40, 10 is already working. People are already doing
Hmm.
it. But
Hmm.
all I have to say is you've seen nothing yet. Again, I have been working on the consumer for almost 30 years. And sellers are nothing more than consumers of a different ilk.
Right.
Right now, Many of them are going, oops, I missed the top of the market. Lots of them are out there throwing out wish prices. Some of them will say, whoops, I didn't get my wish price. I'll just keep renting. Great. Not a real transaction. Some of them will be like, I missed the top, but I don't want to catch a falling knife. Let me get out. And oh, by the way, I own, I have 60% or more equity. I'm willing to carry to get a better price. I keep telling people I did a deal many, many moons ago where somebody raved. I guarantee you this guy told his buddies that he got me. Let me tell the story. There was a house worth 99 grand, call it 100 grand, best case.
Right.
This seller insisted on 120 grand.
Right.
Wouldn't budge.
Right.
So after many, many rounds, I finally said, okay, I can give you 120 if you carry the paper for 30 years. Maybe it was 10 years. I forget, but basically 1%. And he said, yes.
Right.
I'm like, holy cow. Okay, no problem. I will pay you, 120 grand, your price. So you can tell all your golfing buddies that you got some stupid Silicon Valley person, because he will never admit that he lent money at 1%.
Right.
I'm like, I'll do all those deals. No problem.
Right.
So.
Well, I think it just depends on each individual seller's motivation. Maybe, I don't know what it was. He just wanted the money fast or whatever, but simple math, because I think people's perspective on transactions differ, obviously. And that's why, people's motivations are different. But so in your case, you're like 120 and you'll carry 30 years.
1%.
Done. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm going to buy it like a flip. Yeah, a flipper couldn't have done that deal.
Let's do it.
Yeah, and I still have the house, I think. Yeah. I forget which one it was.
It's worth 500,000.
Yeah, no, not quite. I have in Fresno, man. We don't have those, or at least none of mine.
Oh, okay. That's right.
Yeah, I wish it was in Mountain View, but yeah, again. What I'm trying to show here is we are in a process.
Okay.
Every market is different. Every seller is different, but motivations come and go, and we are entering a market that could last 6, 8, 10 quarters. Skill up, learn seller financing. Don't rush. Don't just, diarrhea of the mouth. Listen to the seller. Understand what they want. If they have no equity, seller financing doesn't work. If they own it free and clear, they got 60% or 50%, there's something there. And if they want to sell, they might carry some. They don't have to carry all, right? But again, you can lower their year one taxes. You can maintain income. You can get them their price. There's so many upsides for the seller. Learn the story. Watch the deep dive playlist 50, 40, 10.
Agreed. I mean, the ones that are going to be the most creative and have the best understanding and skill sets to be able to take advantage of what the market is basically allowing at this point, because this wasn't allowed, or it just wasn't the right environment. So I'm seeing it firsthand where people that have the knowledge to be able to present the right dynamics of a loan to the seller or the financing, they're getting these deals. I mean, and they're doing the work. That's basically what it is. There was this one gentleman that did call me and told me about this off-market deal somehow that he came across from a coworker, but the seller was willing to carry 100% of the property. But I was like, and all he wanted, minus 75,000. That's all he wanted was 75,000, and then he'll carry the rest. Right, and supposedly at 0%. So I was like, okay, well, why don't we do it this way? He ended up giving him 120 instead of just 75, and it still worked out, great, because he only had to put down the 10%. So it was still going to work out. So we're waiting for the seller to get back, and then we'll see. But yeah, I told him it seemed too good to be true, though. I don't know.
Yeah, I would look for the hair. There's hair on that deal.
I said, yeah. I'm like, was the house built on top of an old Indian burial ground or something? Right. Was this poltergeist? Is it, you know what I'm saying?
What's going on?
But so we're waiting. But no, for definitely, I've got a couple transactions in process right now from the one rental time family that did the 50, 40, 10, or different kind of breakdowns of like a 60, 30, 10 or whatever cases. They definitely pulled a couple levers.
That's awesome. This is how I think. Again, I want investors to hear me. The more you're creative, the more tools you have in your toolbox. Again, tomorrow we're doing a deep dive on pre-foreclosures, which I've admitted many times is a tool I don't have. So I'm going to be skilling up with my students as well tomorrow. But the 50, 40, 10 goes like this. You hear it for the first time, you don't know what we're talking about. You hear it a second time, you're like, okay, I think I get it. You hear it a third time, you're like, oh, Okay. Then you watch the deep dive and you're like, okay, I heard them talk to a seller and do this, do that, all of those things. And then a lot of people just have this mindset that it's not possible. That's crazy. Zuber's nuts. Maybe flip the script and say, where is this possible? Because again, it won't work everywhere. I'm not saying it does. I never said it would. But when it works, it's amazing. So
it's a beautiful thing.
Get out of your own way. Realize it is absolutely possible. If you say it's not possible, it is not possible.
Right. And if you say it's possible,
for you.
You're both right. Yeah, you're both right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people are going to do this. I think this is just going to be a wave. I don't even think the tidal wave is started. I think it's still cresting. Probably in another 30 or 45 days, you're just going to get flooded because, again, sellers will start to listen. Right now, they still think they can get their price with cash. Sorry, it's August, not January. The market's different.
Right.
And if they want to sell, seller financing is the way. So if they wanted to reach out and talk 50, 40, 10 with you after watching the video, because a lot of questions are there. Don't blow up his phone with questions. Watch the 90-minute video first.
If you don't mind, I mean, most of the general often asked questions are in that video. So then so we can just have a more meaningful conversation after viewing that video. So then we can get down to whether or not I can help you or if it's the right fit a lot quicker. So that's all that we're asking for.
Yep.
But again, to reach me, SDAO, SDAO at velocityofmortgage.com. In the subject line, ORAAT, body of the email, brief description, what you're looking for. Property address would be great. Maybe city and state at least. Your mid FICO score, best phone number to reach you back at 24, 48 hours. I'm at back at you. So other than that, bear with me, folks. I'm almost caught up. Was kind of out of commission for a couple of days and was fighting COVID for a little bit. So I appreciate everybody's patience.
Yeah, you do sound better. You're almost back. You're at about 90%, Stephen Dow. You still got the last little extra.
I mean, it's weird. It comes in like waves, like the they talk about the fatigue or whatnot that still lingers, but I don't have the body aches, the headache, or the fever anymore. But it's that fatigue. Weird, huh? Maybe I'm just using that as an excuse because I'm old, yeah, I'm blaming that on my fatigue right now, not the fact that I'm going to be 50 this year. So,
well, welcome to the club. 50 is awesome, man. I just entered that club myself. So, thank you, buddy.
Thank you. Appreciate you.